Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. I was just dusting off my truth hat. You see, as a critic, I pride myself on giving my honest, truthful opinions on everything I review. Truth is one of the most important things about being a critic because by giving honest criticism, we can help musicians grow and improve in their careers. And what I'm trying to say is, this is going to be a negative review. And I apologize in advance. Today I'm going to be reviewing Kxnshi Raidxn's album Unwanted. Kxnshi Raidxn is another YouTube small-time rapper, producer, and he's also the owner of the X-Degree LLC record label, which features a number of other artists, including G.I. Rilla, who shows up on this project quite a bit. By the way, this was requested by Kxnshi himself. If you want to have your album reviewed, or any album reviewed, contact me through YouTube comments or follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Soundcloud, LinkedIn. Unwanted is, to my knowledge, Kxnshi Raidxn's first project. It kicks off with the title track, which features many samples of the Mortal Kombat sound effect. After this, the beat starts up and Kxnshi hits us with a short verse to start the project off. Now, usually I like to do a little bit of lyrical analysis when I'm listening to rap. Unfortunately, I can't do that with this project because most of the time I was not able to understand what Kxnshi was saying. This was not due to any enunciation problems on Kenshi's part. Most of the time, it was just because his vocals were mixed down so low into the beat. On top of that, he frequently uses the Travis Scott-esque octave layering technique, which, while it sounds cool, it ultimately results in his vocals being buried even deeper in the sound, and it's near impossible to make out what he's saying. In the title track, the only word that I was able to make out was the word vagina, so that's the deepest lyrical analysis I can do. Fortunately, I was able to understand the lyrics to the second track, Real Lyrics, which, appropriately enough, has the lyrics in the video. I was pretty underwhelmed, though, to be honest. It sounded like it was freestyled. There was a lot of filler words, motherfucking damn.
Motherfucker, goddamn, motherfucking goddamn, the motherfucking damn lose.
On top of that, there didn't seem to be a consistent rhythm between any of the couplets. Rhymes didn't land in the same place in the bar each time. Speaking of rhythm, Kenshi's flow was very inconsistent throughout this whole project. On tracks like Strange, he was able to keep a pretty consistent rhythm through the whole verse, and it created a nice groove. But other tracks like Planetary Collision, he just got super offbeat towards the end of his verse, and you could tell that he was really trying to stretch the words that he had into anything resembling a rhythm. Speaking of Planetary Collision, though, this is one of only 2 songs on the album that has any kind of hook. Now, hooks aren't everything in hip-hop. You can make a great hip-hop song with no hook, but with Kxnshi Raidxn, given that his flow was pretty inconsistent and his lyrics were nigh indiscernible most of the time, some more memorable hooks to break up some of these verses would have helped immensely. The hook for Planetary Collision is interesting because it sounds like he's using a vocoder effect on some noise, but as with the octave layering effect, it ultimately results in the vocals being harder to discern and buried in the beat. I think the mixing is definitely this project's biggest failing. A lot of the effects are dialed in way too high, and a lot of the vocals are mixed way too low into the beats. It almost sounds like Kxnshi was trying to mix his vocals down low on purpose, because with some of the features, especially G.I. Rilla, the vocals are mixed much higher in the beat, and they're much easier to understand. On the other hand, it may not have been intentional. It could just be that Kxnshi was uncompressed and his features were compressed, so his vocals stood out as being not as punchy. Either way, some additional mixing and mastering would have definitely helped the sound of this album. Speaking of the features, for the most part, I was really impressed with these guys. There were some really energetic flows and some really fun deliveries. I thought Christian Stanley on the song American Hypocrisy had a really hilarious delivery in the intro skit, and then it was crazy how he switched to this really low-key delivery for his verse. I really want to hear more stuff from this guy. ARW really chops it up on his verse, hitting some insane speeds. I had never heard of ARW before this album, but I might go check out some of his stuff after this. And finally, there's G.I. Rilla, who shows up on 4 of the 10 tracks on this album. He consistently steals the show, especially on Go Off, where he hits some really constant flows, and his energy is really high. So yeah, in conclusion, this project was rough, to say the least. Kxnshi Raidxn definitely has one of the most unique styles of any of the rappers I've listened to for this show, but his fundamentals are lacking. If he improved his flow, his lyrics, and got better mixing on a lot of these tracks, then he would be able to achieve a lot of his potential, but right now, it's just potential. I'm gonna have to give this album a 2.5 out of 10. Now, that's not a high score, but I still think that Kxnshi deserves some support. Like I said, he's got a lot of potential in my opinion. So I'm gonna put a link to his album in the description of this video. Definitely go check it out for yourself. And, subscribe, watch my other reviews, listen to my music, feel free to give it a 1 out of 10, and I'll see you guys in the next review, I guess. You know, just whenever I upload another video, it's like I'll get around to it. I feel like Travis got mixed with Travis touchdown. I think my work's at enough now. Bruce Wayne till sundown, then I hunt down every foe that come round. Destroy evil like Bruce Campbell. No challenge I can't handle. I dismantle any opposition like Big Boss.